AREMEYAW ANAS, a bold fight against corruption across Africa. The masked truth seeker, AREMEYAW Anas, the man behind the mask, feared by the corrupts, celebrated by the just. His motto is name, shame, and jail. Today we dive deep into the life and work of Africa's most celebrated, controversial, and daring investigative journalist, AREMEYAW Anas, the founder of TigerEyePI investigative organization. Who is AREMEYAW Anas? AREMEYAW Anas is not your typical journalist. Born in Ghana, though his exact date of birth remains a mystery for security reasons, Anas has become a symbol of anti-corruption across Africa, with the beaded mask on. He's an award-winning investigative journalist who uses undercover methods, disguises, hidden cameras, recordings, and fake identities to expose criminal activities, corruption, and human rights abuses in societies. Anas's investigative journalism started way back in 1999, where he went undercover as a street hawker to expose police officers who took bribes from unlicensed traders on a major highway in Accra, Ghana. This happened to be his first undercover works. He's known for never showing his face publicly. Instead, he appears in the eye of the public in a beaded mask to protect his identity and ensure that his work continues without threats to his safety. Anas is the founder of an investigative organization known as TigerEyePI, which has gained notoriety for high-risk but high-impact journalism. This company has unearthed a lot of rot in human society across the globe. Major works of Anas and his TigerEyePI in Ghana. Let's begin his works from his home country, Ghana, where some of his most explosive and mind-blowing investigations have taken place and brought about major reforms across board. There are several works of Anas, but we will limit ourselves to the most explosive ones. These include 1. Ghana in the Eyes of God, 2015 judicial scandal. This investigation blew the lid off systemic corruption in Ghana's judicial system. Anas and his team exposed judges, court officials, and police officers accepting bribes as low as goats, yams, or sex to influence court cases. As a result of this investigation, 34 judges and over 100 judicial staffs were implicated. Many were suspended or dismissed, and public trust in the judiciary was rocked in Ghana. 2. The Number 12 Football Corruption Expose, 2018, Anas, in partnership with BBC Africa Eye, uncovered massive corruption in African football, especially within the Ghana Football Association, GFA. The key figure exposed was Kwesi Nyantakyi, the GFA president and FIFA council member, caught on camera accepting bribes. The Number 12 expose led to the banning of Kwesi Nyantakyi, the former president of GFA, from football and football-related activities for life by FIFA. Ghana's Football League, GFL, was temporarily suspended during that period. The GFA committee was dissolved and later restructured. Other works of Anas in Ghana include September 2007, Soja Bar Prostitution, January 2010. Inside Ghana's Madhouse, Ghana's biggest psychiatric hospital, September 2010, Orphans Home of Hell, Osu, Ghana, January 2013, The Spirit Child, March 2014, Ghana Sex Mafia, April 2014, Ghana's Soul Takers, December 2014, Ghana's Food for Thought, June 2019, Torture Home, etc. These are just few of his work. Anas works across Africa and the globe. Anas' work extends beyond Ghana. Here are some of his notable investigations across the African continent and beyond one. Malawi, Africa's Spellcasters, 2008. In this case, Anas investigated the ritual killings linked to witchcraft in Malawi, exposing traditional healers involved in that criminal activities leading to arrest and punitive measures. 2. Liberia, Chop Chop in Liberia, 2009. ANAS went undercover to expose corruption in Liberian immigration services, focusing on officials who facilitated human trafficking. This expose led to investigation of several officials and triggered debate on border security in Liberia. 3. Nigeria. Inside Nigeria's baby factories, 2011. ANAS and his group exposed what is known as baby trafficking rings and illegal adoption centers, often referred to as baby factories in Nigeria. It was a syndicate where young women were forced to give birth and their babies sold out. That expose resulted in a crackdown on the baby factories in the aftermath, where several people involved were arrested and punished. 4. Ivory Coast, Cocoa and Child Labor, 2011. ANAS and his crew went undercover in Ivory Coast's cocoa industry and exposed child labor practices used in cocoa production. This brought global attention to child labor in the cocoa trade. This expose pressured major chocolate companies across the world to audit their supply chains processes. 5. Kenya, Illegal Charcoal Trade, 2019. ANAS investigated the illegal charcoal trade and its links to environmental degradation and corruption among Kenyan forest officials. The investigation raised awareness and contributed to policy discussions around deforestation and illegal logging in Kenya. 6. Tanzania, Spell of the Albino, 2011. ANAS collaborated with Tanzanian journalist Richard Magamba to expose and confront the people behind the grotesque trade in albino body parts for witchcraft rituals, leading to arrest and prosecutions. 7. Thailand, The Torture Chamber of Bangkok Prisons, 2006. ANAS traveled to Thailand to infiltrate its prisons as a Catholic priest, where he interviewed some Ghanaians and West African prisoners about the maltreatment and deaths of foreign prisoners in jail, exposing the abuse of expatriates in Thai prisons. As a result of ANAS's work, the government of Ghana successfully negotiated with the Thai government for the transfer of all convicted Ghanaian prisoners in Thailand to Ghana. Victories and awards. ANAS's work has earned him international recognition and many awards across the globe. These awards include the following: CNN Hero, 2015, Africa Journalist of the Year, CNN Multi-Choice Awards, named in Foreign Policy's Global Thinkers list, Amnesty International Media Award winner, Exceptional Journalist Guba Awards, UK 2017, Journalist of the Year 2016, GJA, Ghana, Most Influential Young Ghanaian, 2016, Avance Media Ghana, Honorary Award for Excellence in Journalism, 4th Annual African Youth Excellence Awards, USA, 2016, Bastion of Excellence in Investigative Journalism, 2011 GJA, Ghana, collaborations with Al Jazeera and BBC Africa Eye, etc., and many more. His work has led to numerous arrests, resignations, and institutional reforms. ANAS' approach to journalism has inspired a new generation of investigative reporters in Africa. ANAS' kind of journalism is impactful and result-oriented. When asked what does journalism mean to him, this was what he said: "Journalism is about results. It's about affecting your community or your society in the most progressive way." ANAS played many different roles as being undercover in prisons, becoming a lawyer in many other countries, and becoming a woman, just to unravel the truth. So, it's a mixed bag. Criticisms and controversies. ANAS' method, or modus operandi, does not come without criticism and controversies. A. Criticism of methods. ANAS' undercover tactics, including disguises, secret recordings, and filming, have been labeled as entrapment by critics. But ANAS insists that drastic measures need to be taken to tackle the level of corruption in Ghana. Also, the National Media Commission of Ghana hold that there's nothing wrong with ANAS's method since Ghana law permits undercover journalism. Others who endorsed ANAS's undercover methods include the former president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo while in opposition, but rejected it when he became the president. Abdul Malik Kwaku Bako, editor-in-chief of the New Crusading Guide, Anas's mentor. Jerry John Rawlings, former president of Ghana, deceased. John Evans Atta Mills, former president of Ghana, deceased. Kofi Annan, former UN Secretary General, deceased. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, former vice president of Ghana and the current leader of New Patriotic Party, NPP, all these statesmen of Ghana, endorsed Anas's methods. In summary, Anas's methods remain controversial in Ghana's legal system. While they have led to major corruption exposés, some courts have sometimes rejected his evidence on legal and ethical grounds. The question is it ethical to deceive in order to expose? Some legal experts argue that such methods could compromise due process and fair trial rights in law. B. Political allegations. Anas has been accused of being a political tool in the hands of political figures, allegedly targeting political opponents under the guise of journalism. However, Anas denied these claims, insisting that he exposes corruption regardless of political affiliations. See the Kennedy Agyapong vs. Anas clash, lawsuits, and legal battles. In 2018, a Ghanaian MP, Kennedy Ohene Agyapong, a member of parliament for Asin Central, launched a campaign against Anas's work, airing videos and photos allegedly revealing Anas's identity and calling his work fraudulent, and repeated those claims on the Daddy Fred Show, an online program in the United States. Mr. Agyapong released what is known as Who Watches the Watchman in June 2018, a counter-documentary film accusing Anas of corruption and called him all sort of names. This scathing attack on Anas and his men by exposing their identities led to the murder of journalist Ahmed Swale, the right-hand man of Anas, in 2019. Anas then sued Kennedy Agyapong for defamation for 25 million Ghana cedi. In 2020, the court dismissed Anas's case, ruling that Agyapong's comments were justified. Anas continued his legal battle with the former MP, Kennedy Agyapong, on defamation case at the High Court, Ghana. In a ruling on March 15, 2023, the High Court, presided over by Justice Eric Ba, a Court of Appeal judge sitting with additional responsibility as a High Court judge, dismissed the case for lacking merit. The judge had added that although the words spoken against Anas were factual and capable of defamation, he could not prove same. The judge also stated that the plaintiff, Anas, is a blackmailer who uses blackmail to extort money from his opponents and people he does not like, and described Anas' investigative journalism as investigative terrorism, the presiding judge, then awarded cost of 50,000 Ghana cedi against Anas. However, in May 2022, Anas proceeded to the United States to file a defamation lawsuit in the Essex County Superior Court, New Jersey, against Kennedy Agyapong and media personality Frederick Asamoah of making defamatory statements against him, Anas, during an episode of the Daddy Fred Show, an online program in the United States. In March 2025, Anas won $18 million defamation lawsuit against the former member of parliament for Asin Central and a businessman, Kennedy Ohene Agyapong, in the United States. This U.S. legal triumph comes after a setback for Anas in Ghana, where he had earlier pursued a defamation case against Kennedy Agyapong in 2018. This was what Anas said after the victory. Regrettably, the situation in Ghana was starkly different. In 2018, when I pursued a similar lawsuit there, justice eluded me. Despite Mr. Agyapong's own admission of lacking evidence to support his calumnious claims, Justice Eric Ba of the Accra High Court, Ghana, not only denied me justice, but also unjustly portrayed me, the civil plaintiff, as a criminal. This ruling was later condemned by Supreme Court Justice Kulendi, who described it as a violent abuse of judicial authority. Such outcomes are a stark reminder of the systemic flaws within our Ghanaian judicial system. flaws that demand urgent reform. The fight against corruption continues unabated. We will persist in rooting out graft and holding accountable the bad actors in our society. Other lawsuits and legal battles. There were numerous lawsuits filed against Anas, mostly by individuals exposed in his documentaries or investigations. Surprisingly, many courts have mostly ruled in favor of Anas or dismissed the cases due to lack of evidence. Impact and legacy. Anas AREMEYAW. Anas has become Africa's face of anti-corruption journalism. His beaded, masked persona has become symbolic of truth and justice. His fearless approach has challenged powerful institutions and triggered real changes in our societies. Despite the risks, death threats, lawsuits, and smear campaigns, Anas continues to work in the shadows, exposing the corrupts. Whether you love him or hate him, AREMEYAW ANAS is forcing Africa and the world to confront uncomfortable truths. His message, justice must be served no matter the cost. As he often says, you can't stop the rain with your bare hands, and Anas is the storm. Slogan, name, shame, and jail. If you found this video insightful, like, comment, subscribe, and share for more stories that uncover the truth. Let us know in the comments. Do you support Anas's methods, or do you think he goes too far? Tell us your views. Thanks for watching. Bye.